Like,
I mean, Kevin, let me tell you something. Hearing the new philosophy, Kevin, I had to press record because I was like, we can't lose this to the universe. Like, this is amazing. Say what you said again, but for the show. This is our thesis statement.
we are who we are while we hiding it from the world, right? Like, listen, there's a reason why there's 500 million motherfuckers on Instagram. Because they want motherfuckers to know who they be. It's just the truth. These motherfuckers are tired of hiding. And then slowly but surely, if you look on everybody's Instagram, it starts off, this is what my grandmother could see. So this is what the fuck boy I want to fuck. Or the hoe I want to fuck gets to see. It starts with what Gammy gets to see to the person you want to fuck gets to see. We're not trying to hide no more, cuz.
Yeah, and I think it took a worldwide pandemic for the pressures of the outside world who have their fangs so deep inside of you that you can't even know where your heart connects to, like your head connects to your soul. And finally, after 2 months of the fangs getting duller and duller and you be able to feel who you are, then you can say, wait, this is me. I want to express myself. I know who I am again.
Yo, that's why we had all these snitch ass hoes for the last 5 years, going back to people's tweets and be like, this is what he said. Because on the inside, they're like, I don't get to say my thoughts. My gammy is gonna watch my thoughts, so I can't fucking put things out there. They do that shit because they can't be dumb. They are not who they say they are, bro.
So you're saying people who like rat people out are just jealous that they can't do the stuff they're ratting people out for?
100%.
Well, like if I can't say terrible things about Mexicans, neither can anyone.
Neither can anyone, because it's not fair to them.
Speaking of saying terrible things about Mexicans, guys, I saw that you guys shot us another sketch.
Yeah,
those pictures look cool.
We're trying to do one per week.
Way to go, dudes.
One per week, yo.
She has a really good setup, and her boyfriend is like a really cool dude, man.
Yeah.
And it's gonna
you guys ought to be around somebody like that, actually.
What do you mean? Someone who's cool?
No, yeah, somebody who's nice and cool. I am neither of those things.
Yeah, no, you're not.
Well, John, wait, first of all, you are one of those things, and that's cool. Yeah. Nice.
Yeah, true.
Up for debate. You know.
It's weird. It's weird to like look at every path I could have taken and just realize no matter what, I'd turn into my father.
You know, it's funny you said that. I'm still gonna put it out. I was gonna put a post out yesterday, but I put too many out already.
Yeah.
That it
Josh,
said.
By the way, what's the deal with only being in this corner of the screen and we actually record this for the public?
Listen. Yeah, no. Kevin, I really think you can't sit out there. It's too loud. I hear it echoing, bro.
I think it's fine.
It's fine, buddy.
It sounds weird to me. Okay. Yeah, no, I was gonna post no matter even if you made all the right choices in life, if you made every right decision, you'd still be stuck in fucking quarantine with the rest of us.
Yeah.
So in perspective, like you know, you make all these decisions, you're like, oh, am I doing the right thing, wrong thing? And at the end of the day, something bigger than yourself puts you in the same place.
I'll tell you something, and I like that we're just sort of being real. So I know at the start of this pandemic, and I guess even now, like I am grateful that by luck, I'm in a positive mindset and like sort of like an upswing of things, right?
Yeah.
But I've talked to a lot of people, and it's also like reverberated at me because, you know, I get to feel how listen, and you guys know, it's not like my whole life has been like things going good. You know what I mean? Truthfully, mostly no, it's the opposite. But talking to people, and I'm like, you know, none of us control where we are on the wave of doing good and then bad and good and bad. We don't control that. We try our best in every season, but like when does the fucking circles align? When do the wheel rotations align that like you're in the same like swing? So I'm like grateful that like I'm feeling like I'm in the swing now, but like I don't think that like I was hoping it would happen all whatever. So and then I was thinking like, it's like I'm not like when you're not in the swing of things, like
An upswing, you mean?
or you just feel like you can feel all those, like especially now where it's like there's no opportunities and everything sucks, like on
Right.
You know what I mean? Like I talked to an old friend today and he kind of unloaded on me on like how he's like not inspired, and like just even though the fact that like he has free time and stuff like that, he's like blocked in his mind, whatever. And I'm like, I know how I felt in that times. I've been there too. And I'm like, yo, we don't control it. Like, it's just like, we're just living.
Yo, can I ask you something? Don't you feel like sometimes when like you feel so good about what's going on, and if somebody comes to you like, I got writer's block, you want to be like, yo, my man, keep that energy somewhere else. Like, I know I'm your friend, but right now I'm in a groove. And you saying some shit like that to me makes me feel like I might catch your block.
For me personally, I don't feel like the block is ever there. I feel like it's like my only escape. So like I'm not in the greatest place right now. Like monetarily, my business is fucked. I haven't seen my kid in 2 months. Like it doesn't feel great. Life. But the creativity is like the only escape. Like doing things like that is the only thing that actually makes me feel better. It's more like a relief than me having to wait until I'm in a better place to feel creative. I feel like that's the thing that makes anything bearable.
For me, it's the creative shit and talking, for me and some of my friends, and talking to beautiful women. That's been like a good outlet for me. Talking to these girls who, quite frankly, don't talk to funny individuals on a daily basis. So I get to
laugh that way.
I'm getting my laugh somehow.
Good.
And then at the end of this, it might lead to a dick sucking. Like my birthday's Friday, I might get my dick sucked Friday.
You got to figure it out, Kevin. I like philosophy, Kevin.
Philosophy, Kev. Listen, man.
First, it started with the microdosing. Then he moved to shaving part of his feet and then letting it lie fallow and taking care of this area.
His new name is Play-Doh.
No, for as far as whether you can
fuck you, Kevin.
as far as whether you can catch someone's writer's block, 100% you can.
100%.
Negativity is a disease.
And the thing about it is, it's like you have to leverage how long you spend with them, listening to them, against like how much you love them.
Yeah, 10 minutes. I don't care how much I love you. If I'm in a good groove, you got 10 minutes to let it out. And then tell me what you're going to do positively. I need to hear a positive note because I can't end the convo like that because I don't want your fucking shit.
Well, there's a name for that. John, what is it? Is there emotional vampires? I think they're called.
Wow, yeah. Yes. You know what? I think because, you guys know me as a really mean monster,
No. Yeah.
And I think the reason I'm like that is because, like, I think I strike first and make sure that nobody fucks up my vibe. Like, that Kendrick song, Bitch Don't Kill My Vibe?
Yeah.
Like, that's like my life. I'm like what do you call? With Colin in the podcast, I was like, I stung him like a scorpion. I was like, nope. No, I'm not doing this every week if this is going to be the energy.
Hey, can you find out why he unfriended me, by the way?
See, that's another thing. I don't give a shit about.
I don't give a shit either, but I'm just
like, you don't give a shit. Don't give a shit, bro. Like, if you really don't give a shit, why don't put your energy there.
I just want to know if his mother told him that we had sex.
Oh, well.
Wow.
She got to tell him. I mean, no, she wouldn't fuck you.
Why?
She doesn't fuck Jews.
That's probably true.
You know what's interesting about Colin? Nothing. No. The interesting thing about Colin is I don't know anything about his upbringing, and I don't know if that's because he never told me or he told me 500 times and I just wasn't listening to him.
Everything I needed to know about Colin and his upbringing was in a picture that he posted the other day of him in like a little sailor suit or something with his dad. Did you see that?
No.
The other day, I thought he did it at you.
No, I went to go look at his Facebook to see why he unfriended me. And like, I guess, can you tell me his dad? Huh?
This has been eating you up.
Hey, Josh, let me ask you something.
I'm going to hunt to find out why so many people hate me.
Yo, Kevin, is living with him all day, him walking around the apartment, he's like, how do I get into Colin's Facebook? Colin didn't text me. Oh my God. Colin doesn't use Instagram much, but did you see this? Like,
I only found out he unfriended me about 8 days ago. So I'm just trying to figure out what I did between the last time I spoke to him. I mean, Kevin did see him on the street and Kevin was like, yo, can I come upstairs with Colin and Mike Farrell? And I was like, no, you cannot.
What?
I mean,
this is recently?
That was 2 months ago.
Like right as coronavirus started becoming a thing, before we had to wear masks in places.
Yeah. What do you think of the new Chinese reality we're living in? Where we have to where wearing masks around is normal, and we're just like, yeah, let's even put smiles on it and make it fun. Like,
did you see somebody invented a mask that you can eat with? It's the most stupid looking thing. So basically someone took a regular, like those cheap throwaway masks, and they put a hand inflatable pump that when you squeeze the pump, it opens up like a Muppet mouth. So you could sit there at a restaurant and fucking shovel food into your mask and then it closes back up.
What in the fuck? I don't like that at all.
I don't like it at all. They were showing a close up on this person's mouth and like the food was getting all over the mouth. I was like, this is
an idiot. What an idiot
so
trying it out. Everyone involved with that video shoot is an idiot.
Hey, that's Tommy from Rugrats' dad, right? You ever seen the Rugrats?
You know what? I don't know it enough to like really love the reference, but I respect that you shouted out a Nickelodeon cartoon.
Had to, because he was a bad inventor, like, and that's that guy. That's that guy. He's married. That guy right there. That guy who invented that stupid mask. He's married, has a Tommy, and is definitely failing and is depending on his wife. Thank God for feminism for him. Because his wife is balling out.
At the end of the day,
Kevin Sanchez playing the hits.
I mean, what are you talking about? I'm for the ladies.
I just the word feminism coming up is you playing the hits. Whether you're for it or you're against it, it's something you say a lot.
It's because I'm for it and against it all at the same time.
Yeah. Oh no, I thought of it. So that just made me think of my invention that I came out with. It's also a type of mask, but it's a COVID dental dam that you wear around your face, and you can just still eat pussy all the time, but it keeps out COVID, HIV, and other STDs.
Oh shit! Yo, man.
You think STD rates have gone down?
I mean, I don't know, Josh. How much have you been fucking?
Nothing.
So, I would consider in the normal times to probably have an STD right now.
You know what? Thank God. I have never caught an STD, and I don't know.
You know why Josh doesn't have an STD? And this is something that I did not know this. He doesn't sleep with every woman that comes here. Like when he was bringing women here, so he would just sometimes love to lay with them. This guy pretends to be this fucking gigolo, and he sometimes just wants to love. He wants to cuddle.
You totally.
Damn, shots fired. Shots fired,
no,
right? Like,
well, no, listen.
He basically called you out to say you ain't even deserve to be on this podcast. Since this podcast is only for gigolos.
Let me explain.
Real gigolos like me and Kevin.
Your Honor, I have documented photographic evidence to prove contrary to that. No, for me the thing is this. So if I'm just getting to know a girl and I end up like not really liking her too much, I could still very much enjoy just like hanging out next to them, but like I won't pursue to push the sex further because I don't want to have to probably see them again. So if I really don't,
that is actually very respectful.
you know, yeah, no, because listen, I don't want to fucking hurt anybody. And if you sleep with somebody, you're making an emotional investment.
Yo, you heard it here first, yo. Jay Pallet don't want to fuck over anybody.
Yeah, listen,
No,
no, I
you know,
don't.
it makes sense. Listen, I know it seems like he would have the opposite vibe, but it makes sense for Josh to be like that. Because we look at Josh and we think, oh, he's this cool, hunky gigolo who fucks all the women all the time, 10 women a night. He's literally like pulling out of one and entering another, you know? But we forget that at Josh's core, he's a humongous fat ass.
Yeah, I was waiting for the.
Who's been hurt many times and knows what it's like.
You know the pain, yo. He knows.
It stems back to I want to know why people hate me, and I don't want to give any more reasons to people in the universe to have dislike for me.
I mean, let me think about it. Like, why do I hate you?
Because with 1/10 the effort, I'm as successful as you, better looking, and have more sex.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's the reason people hate you. You figured it out, guys. Listen, we're changing lives here on the Low End Gigolos.
Listen, we getting through to each other. Getting through.
So, I heard your interview with Brian Maher.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
I did say, hey, listen, speaking of that interview, you said that Brian Maher would never ask for the footage, right? You were like, he's never going to know about it. Yeah, we did it. It was either on one of the podcasts that is out, or it was like between a podcast. In fact, it was on an episode. And I was like, and you were like,
you don't bring it up to him. I said to you, don't bring it up to him.
He brought it up.
Yeah, I know. But I was said to you that episode.
I didn't throw you under the bus. I was just like, it was a crazy party that John. Well, I did throw you under the bus.
Yes. I love it. No, but now I'm gonna throw you under the bus. My favorite part of it was he goes to you in the beginning. So you haven't seen your girlfriend in 2 months, and you're like, yeah, and he's like, wow, man, that must be really tough for you. And you're like, yeah. Yeah, right.
You know what?
John's dying. He's dying right now.
Hell yes, dude. Yeah. You know what? I gotta give it to you, man. And you know the wildest thing is you saying that doesn't even make me feel bad.
I know. It does. Just funny.
You know why, John?
Why?
Because you are who you are. Why you hiding it from the world, baby?
It's just what it is.
Because you UG, man. You ultimate gigolo.
That got me.
Oh, wow. That was fantastic. I thought you were really going to come at. I was like, fuck, what did I say about him? I'm like, what did I do? Did I say something really mean? I'm like, well, he's heard everything before a million times. Like, right. I feel like I'm very upfront. I mean, like, for instance, I posted the video of the episode on Patreon. I didn't even post last week's episode to iTunes.
What do you mean?
I thought it was automatic.
Nothing's automatic. I have to do everything manually.
Like,
and I just did it. I just didn't. I was like, you guys are moving to Texas. Who the fuck cares? As long as the paid people are happy, it doesn't matter.
I thought that when you put it up on the URL, it gets automatically feeded.
Yeah, but I have to do that. So basically what happens is I have to take the card out, put it in this thing, and then I have to like get all the tracks and edit it, and then I have to upload it and write in the details and then write it in again for the other thing. And I was just like, dude, I am who I am. Why am I hiding it from the world? You know what I mean? Like, you guys do not, like, who cares? So I'm like, I'll put the Patreon episode up. Brian Maher listened to it, watched it. He commented, like, everyone's happy. Candace is happy. And I was like, why am I breaking my neck over here?
So you're no longer going to be updating iTunes?
Oh, I'm just saying I didn't do it last week. I'm just saying, like,
you know what happened with John? Let me tell you what happened with John. All right. John is furloughed right now. And he's like, okay, I normally would slack off at work. I am working really hard at home. Where in my life can I slack off but still do some of the work? Low End Gigolos podcast.
You know, I really think you should microdose mushrooms more often because the synapses that are firing up in the old noggin are amazing. It's like you're like Flowers for Algernon, Charlie, which is a callback to a very good episode.
He's getting smarter.
Huh?
It's his birthday on Friday.
That was the movie we were gonna make. It's
Yes,
his birthday today?
It's on Friday. It's Kevin's birthday.
Oh shit, dude. This is a legit happy birthday to Kevin episode.
It is a legit happy birthday.
Well, let me be the first to say happy birthday. Happy early birthday.
Thank you.
And I'm very glad that you came into my life. I am glad. I am better for it. Kevin Sanchez and the inception of the Gigolos, I am better for that. And I just wish that you guys were more dedicated partners than I could continue doing this podcast.
It would. Like, I can't wait till like we have 50, 75,000 people listening to this.
Yeah.
And they go back.
It's never gonna happen. No, it will happen. It will.
It's gonna happen.
Yes.
It's gonna happen. You heard it here on Kevin's early birthday podcast. And they're gonna be like, man, John really didn't see it coming. Too bad he's not on the podcast anymore. But he was fucking great while he was here.
Listen, John's dad never believed in him, and look how far it got John in life. So by John not believing in us, it pushes us forward.
That is true. You're right. And every day I do this podcast, I'm reminded what a failure I am next to you two. You're right. It's wow. I look at you guys and I'm like, is this what I want to look like?
Wow.
I mean, listen, I know the roast battles aren't happening anymore, so this is what we have to do to fit in with the prescribed genre of comedy that we're in right now.
Listen. That's not the prescribed genre of comedy no more. That's gone. There's no prescribed genre of comedy.
Yeah, we're supposed to be supportive of each other.
What are you doing, buddy? Have you seen your forehead?
I'm rolling up something.
He's smoking a pipe. Very good.
Trying to relax. Kevin's turning 29 years old.
29, big 29.
29, man.
Where were you when you were 29, John?
29. Where was I in May of 2010? Okay. I was working at a sign designing shop in like Hauppauge, Long Island. And at the same time, I was going into the city and doing clown stuff. Like that was when I've mentioned it, like Eric Davis and all that stuff. I was sort of like working on their shows or getting like little parts in their shows or, you know, being around the scene of that. And I hadn't met Carol yet, but like the next year I was like, in my head, I didn't know what was going to happen for myself. So I was like, oh, who knows? Maybe I'll make a show and it'll be purchased by Cirque du Soleil. That was like the idea. Like make a clown character and get it big enough at like an audition or a show that they're like, you're a good person. You can work for us. You can help us create stuff. I actually, because that's what Eric Davis did. And that's what like a few people in the scene did. So I was like, that's the path that's going to do it for me. And 29, man, I don't know. Like I definitely, like I was trying to just, I mean, Kevin, you know, the funny thing is that I see like how you are like, and I think of like how it was like that for me, but like in a different scene because it was like I had just finished like my first 2 years of improv. So I was like hungry to do something next. And I was like looking for like, where can I be challenged with older people who like know what they're doing and like whatever, or I feel like it's fun to comedically spar with. So yeah, like it was a good time. I mean, I had a girl broke up with me and I was like, you know,
going through it.
It's not like I had fucking game. So I was just like, yeah, I didn't know how to like, I definitely wasn't, it was before apps.
You're in recovery mode.
Yeah. And,
which girl was this, John? This was
This is the asshole who's like, what are you doing? This is not.
Or the high school student. The high school student.
Yeah. Well, she wasn't in high school when we went out.
Yeah. Just when you picked her up.
Yeah, the timeline. The
Excuse me, excuse me.
timeline.
Hey, Josh. Hey,
Timeline
Josh.
is spread out over.
Josh.
Yeah.
You mean when she picked him up? Get the
He did.
story straight, bro.
You're right.
Yeah, Josh.
Yeah.
I love that you have faith that I could pick somebody up.
Right.
But, you know, for a premise to work, it has to be believable.
Mm.
Well, that's not where I was headed with, John. I meant like you were pimped by blood and she picked you up.
Right. Yes, what he said. What Philosophy Kevin said. Birthday Philosophy Kevin.
B-Day Philosophy Kev.
Plato.
Yeah, so I don't know. It was you know what though? Also, like I will say about now that was not true then. Like whenever I went to a place, like socially, I always felt like well, I mean, actually, this is still true now, but I just don't go out as much. But I always felt invisible socially. Like I would go out to places and I would be like, fucking, I can't. Like, it's not like I was holding court. I was just like, fucking. I mean, I had friends, but like when I would go out socially, it's like, oh, I'm invisible. I could just like walk among people and nobody sees that I'm here. You know what I mean? And that shit, like, I don't know. That was like a feeling. I remember being 29 and that being like the standard feeling of every time I would go out to try to be social, because being social is like a lot of work, especially when you're alone. You want to go out and like try to meet somebody, try to like have that kismet moment that happens in socially that could happen once in a while. And it was just like that feeling every fucking year in, year out. So that was 29.
You know what's interesting is I wanted to think back also to when I was 29, because I think I'm a year older than you, John. I think. But 10 years ago, I would have been turning 30. But that was around the time, like, at the peak of me, like, you know, I was losing weight from the time I was, like, 26. But by the time I hit 29, that's, like, when I was down to maybe, like, 20, 30 pounds heavier than I am now. So, like, I was a completely different person than I was 10 years before that, 100%, or even 5 years before it. 5 years before that, I was almost twice my size. So, you know, when I would go around to places that I had been around my whole life, either in Manhattan, at like clubs I had gone to, in my neighborhood, people who I knew, and you know, especially when I was a giant fat ass, it's an easy person to remember because, you know, first of all, I'm loud and I talk a lot and I make jokes. But then, of course, you know, you have the size of me at the time. But when I lost that weight, that period of time, I'm thinking back to, 2010, I would walk around like a ghost. I would see people who I've known my whole life, not like closest friends, but some I've known for 20 something years who maybe I just hadn't seen in like 3 years. And I would walk right by them. They had no idea. And the truth was, I loved it. I loved it. Because, you know, a lot of people you stop and talk to, you don't really want to fucking bullshit with them, you know? So I was like, they have no idea it's me. I'm just going to pretend like I don't even see them. So until the updated version of me got around and people knew what I looked like,
right?
I could ninja my way around. It was fun.
Man, did you ever fuck with someone like they couldn't recognize you, but you were like, I'm gonna fuck with this. I know so much about this person. They have no idea it's me.
Yeah, no, I ran to someone I didn't see, and that was the first time they saw me in like 4 or 5 years.
Yeah. And
they were like, I was like, it's me. It's like Josh. And they were like, oh my God, what happened? And then I was like, stage 5.
That's great. I'm glad you did that.
I need some bone marrow. You got some bone marrow for me? God forbid. God forbid.
They're like, what happened? And you're like, I'll suck your dick for crack.
I'll show you. Come with me behind the building over there. You know what's nice to see? Me and Kevin, I don't know if we talked about it yet. We went and shot a sketch with show friend Leonardo, and we went to Harlem today, me and Kevin. And let me tell you something. It was nice to see that Harlem still exists in its true essence. There was no, like, you know, like you go around my neighborhood, it's getting a little bit better now, but it still looks like a fucking ghost town in comparative.
Uh-huh.
You were in fucking Harlem. I mean, other than the masks, everybody was out.
Oh, wow.
And like the crackheads were out, the alcoholics were out, the homeless were out.
You know what's great though?
Kevin's favorite people.
My favorite people.
I like real people.
Because, well, this is what I love. The alcoholics have done something new. they just take seats and put it in the middle of the streets and just sit there and drink.
Yeah.
They just do that now. They don't hide it. They're not in a corner. They're just in the like where, let's say there's a bus stop. They're next to the bus stop in their lawn chairs drinking.
Yeah.
And honestly, a part of me is like, that's beautiful. Someone to make this art. Someone should draw this.
It's nice that there's much more real important things to worry about, like life or death, that you don't need to fucking police every stupid little thing like that. And look how life is just fine. Like, people are fine, you know? You should be allowed to sit in the middle of the street and drink Mad Dog 2020 if you want to.
Yo, dude, it's actually the second time you guys have brought that up. I guess that's a real phenomenon around the city, because like even in that interview with Brian Maher, he was like, everybody's drinking in the street.
Yeah.
Get that part?
No, I didn't see. That must have been at the end. I didn't hear that part.
Yeah, so I'm like, wow, it must be like across New York. It's just like,
well,
bullshit.
Well, the bars are closed, so they made it so, and it's always been kind of legal to have to-go drinks. You know, cops could be fucking dicks, but if you have a to-go container, like a plastic container with a top on it and a straw, technically you're legal. It's a technically a legal drink. So, you know, to try to help these businesses, they passed, I guess they made it policy now that the cops won't really fuck with the businesses. So, like, there's bars in my neighborhood, you can't sit inside there, but they'll give you sangrias and margaritas to go, and people are just hanging outside drinking them shits.
That's cool. I mean, you know, the bar's closed, but like a huge part of the population are alcoholics. So it's like,
yeah,
it just as a society that has to be managed with at least some care. Like, if we don't live in a society where it's like the fucking rule makers are going to come after people for that. That's like an American tradition.
This is a specific, you know, like when you say like alcoholic, like I'm thinking of like the really hard drunk alcoholics that like we saw today. The type of the majority of like the people who have, I would say an alcoholism problem. A lot of it has to do with, you know, humans, they need social interaction.
Yes.
So like alcohol just happens to be, you know, the thing that you do while you do it. It makes it easier for you to talk.
Exactly. Also like a rite of passage, like, of course, like in your 20s, you're going to go out and drink a lot because that's part of like life. That's actually like not even like a rite of passage, but also like that is the young people getting together and doing what people do. Yeah.
Yeah. Getting sick is a rite of passage. Did you ever get drunk sick, John? I can't really imagine that.
Yes. I have had, like, there's a reason why, like, I don't like super. So the thing is like, whenever, like with any substance, it's like you do it because of like what you get out of it, right? Like, you know, Kevin microdoses shrooms and becomes fucking Socrates. You know, and like, it's like sometimes, for instance, I like to smoke a little bit of weed to take the edge off and also like sort of look at my life from a bird's eye view. Right. Because sometimes when you're in it, like you can't do things, but then when you're like, oh, this connects with this, and I didn't think of it like that, you know? That's what I find I get from it. But I did like drinking and fucking totally like, I had times where like fucking I threw up at the bar and then had to leave, and then like threw up in my friend's car, and then like I don't remember what happened after that. I mean, like, yeah, like, but now I'm just like, I think I've said I'm too weak, I'll die. I'm not strong enough to live like that.
Did your parents drink growing up?
They drank, but not like to a way that made it not normal.
You don't have childhood stories about your pops walking in there like, hey, Marie, what the fuck?
Yeah,
I never considered my stepfather an alcoholic, but in hindsight, I mean, you know, my stepfather was 25 years older than my mother. So he comes from, you know, a different era. He comes from like the 40s, the 30s, the 50s.
Madmen.
The time when you'd have a drink in the office. You'd have a drink when you came home. You'd have a drink when you got in the car.
You know, like at home, it's like, it's at home, you didn't even have a gym or a punching bag.
Right.
All the girl dresses just had a hook, and you put it up her and you beat the shit out of her.
You know, you had a cart with like fucking crystal, you know, whatever, what are they fucking called? Containers, whatever the fuck, filled with alcohol. But the thing was, you know, he would take my mother and my sister and I out to dinner like once a week, twice a week. And like a good majority of the time, like he would have a few drinks at dinner and be not sloshed like where he's slurring words, but he definitely was buzzed. He had at least like 4 drinks, you know, and then he drove us home and drove like 80 miles an hour.
Holy shit.
And then my mother's like, you know, I can't believe I let him drive. And I'm like, you did let him fucking drive. You let him drive us home.
And all of society did that.
I know.
And everybody did.
Everyone did, yo. I remember my step pops. I mean, we were in his. I used to love this car, son. He used to have his Cadillac, like one of those.
Eldorado.
It was it was the '90s, right? Like, or maybe early 2000s. It almost looked like a cab, but it looked way more fire. Which is like,
Crown Victoria.
Bro, I gotta look it up. I gotta ask him. I'm gonna ask him. He had. This caddy was beautiful, but one time, we coming back from like one of those Puerto Rican Christmases, right? In the Bronx, we drinking coquito all night. I even had my little share. I was like 8 years old, drinking out of people's cups and shit. I'm buzzed. You know what I'm saying?
Dude, hell yeah. Shout to drinking at 9 and 10 at parties just to see what'll happen. Hell yes.
That shit was my man, I was
maybe
like,
the best time of life.
Bro, let me tell you something that no one knew. They just thought I was this very eccentric kid, wanted to hang out with adults. And I'm over here trying to dance. I'm trying to dance salsa. I'm like holding on to girls' butts, trying to smell a pussy. You know, like I was a creep, bro. You know, and I'm a creep anyway.
Oh my God, dude,
but this motherfucker got into like we were on the bridge. What's that bridge in the Bronx by Brook Avenue?
Bruckner?
No. When you're like on 100, if you get off, you by the Taino Towers.
I have no idea.
No.
Yo, bro. Anyway, it doesn't matter. We're heading back into Manhattan, and
Bronx Neck.
It doesn't matter. We're headed back into Manhattan, and all you hear is ski for like a minute, right? And he was like scraping his caddy on the bridge.
Oh wow, dude!
And I was scared the whole time. Like, we're gonna go in the water. We're gonna go in the water. We're gonna go.
Wow.
Bro, it was fucking wild. My mother didn't talk to him for 3 weeks. Cause my mom was like, yo, go back to your place. You can sleep tonight, but the morning, you get up, take your stupid fucking car, and you go back to your place. I don't want to see you. I'll call you when I'm ready. But those are good times, bro.
Wow, dude. Times. That's amazing.
I forgot about that story, son.
Holy shit. Well, that reminded me of like when we were, not the car part, but like, I remember being like 11 years old, maybe 12 years old with my friend Connor, who's actually came to the Live Gigolos show. You might remember him, my Irish kid. He came to the Live Gigolos show at your bar.
Oh, yeah.
And he hung out.
with his girl?
Yeah, with his girl.
I remember.
So that was last year, yesterday.
Holy, that's right. Damn, dude.
Yeah.
So me and him were like 12 years old, and his family were like medieval reenactors. Like you would go to his house and it would look like you stepped into the 12th century.
Get the fuck like
round? With tapestries and like all wood and like just fucking medieval shit. Like his house had ivy growing on it.
What?
So like around the holidays. Yeah.
John, before you get into this, how hard was that, like, for him as a kid, thinking his parents were awesome as shit when he was a kid, and then he has like a sleepover, and they're like, hey, you know, what's his name's parents are fags?
I'm so glad that like you tore that little piece of the story open, because it's true. So like when this is like my best friend from like nursery school. Like when we met each other in nursery school, but then we kept friends from kindergarten all the way through. So I'm like best friends with this kid. And even he and I, like in 4th grade, had our like little internal battle, but like we came out like stronger, like good buds.
Yeah.
So in junior high, exactly what you're saying happened. People were just like, also, you know, he's like smart. So he's like always labeled a nerd, plus the fucking medieval shit. Like he was sunk.
Oh,
So
shit.
other kids started to fuck with him, and like, yo, and I was just, when you said that, I'm like, this is why also like I've been a rebel my whole life, because like I didn't abandon him. I was like,
Good.
I'm like, yo, I'm friends with, I love this kid, and all of you mainstream cocksuckers don't like him. Like, then my values, which are aligned with this kid, are against all of you fucking losers. But Connor, for his fucking credit, he fucking had fist fights with people on his lawn.
Good
He
for fucking
defended
Connor,
his
son.
shit
Good
forever,
for
dude.
Connor, bro. Fight,
I-
man.
I
I love a
remember-
motherfucker like that.
Fucking,
You're
there was
nothing.
just, like,
You're too weak for me. You're nothing.
that's
Yeah.
yo, that's exactly.
I'll break your fucking mouth.
Dude, it is true. I mean,
Come here, I'll kill you.
Nothing, mate. You do fucking nothing.
You're nothing. I'll bury you.
I'm a nerd. Oh, I'm a
Just call
nerd.
me
You
dad
say.
to give me a hug.
Okay. Oh, I'm a nerd. You say, huh? All right.
Oh,
Why don't
okay.
we?
Yo, how great would it have been, yo, if Connor, first of all, his name is Connor. Shout out McGregor. But how
Oh,
great
wow,
would it
now of course it's cool.
how great would it have been if Connor was like, oh, you want to talk that shit? And he came with a wooden fucking sword and started beating the shit out of somebody
Yo,
during the high school.
Actually, this is the wild thing. So that's true. He first of all, he had the swords. He had a
know.
whole fucking Game of Thrones chest of swords.
You fucking with the wrong nerd, son.
Yo,
You
but
fucking
also
with the wrong nerd.
some old school shit is me and Connor, like when we were in 9th grade, we had to do a project, and we made a sketch. And at the time, dude, we were both into Kids in the Hall, Monty Python and shit. So we made our own sketch, like just me and him.
Yeah.
And we did a part where like we had to be Odysseus on a talk show. We made all this crazy shit. Like, so like we made up a fake talk show, and he brought over like the chest plate, the fucking
What?
metal helmet, the sword. Like the production value on this high school project was like probably like
Yo, if I was in
thousands
your
of
high
dollars
school,
of stuff.
if I was in your high school, I would have been so fucking into it. I would have been like, yo, y'all gotta. But I would have got all the cool niggas. They would have been like, oh, Kevin's liking this shit. All right, let's go see what the fuck is popping. And then next thing you know, you would have saw like varsity basketball players hanging out with y'all. That's just how I did things, though.
Hell yeah, dude. Well, you know what's funny, and I'll ask you guys about this too, is that like between like 7th grade, I mean, for me, between like 7th grade and 9th grade, there was this period of like not self-awareness where it's like, you know how you see kids, they're just being kids, they're being who they are, and like you're seeing the essence, not the, oh, I should wear this because people are going to judge me if I go out of the house with like a cartoon thing on my chest or something like that. And then like by like 9th, 10th, 11th, and it might happen earlier now with social media, but like then people are more savvy. They're like, oh, I'm good at this thing, so I don't have to try to pander to you fucking mainstream losers, or like vice versa. Me and Connor, like when we made that video, like, so we total nerds, totally knew that everybody hated us. So we made this video, and we had like we had the sketch stuff. I also like played bass for a part, like to do the intro music of
That's
the
dope as shit.
show. And we did all this shit. And then like when we did it, like all the cool kids were like, who's playing a bass for that? Who's playing bass for that? Like, where'd you get that shit? Like they still were like, wait,
Kind of curious.
you fucking losers made that? Something doesn't look right.
Yo, that's interesting. Yo, I went to a performing arts school. So like in high school, so like things were more accepted very early on, right? But that whole savvy let me wear this, like, cause we were poor, like roasting has just been a part of my life, like from I think from the 3rd grade on. From the 3rd grade on, you had to worry about what you were wearing.
Wow.
In my neighborhood, like in our schools, the schools I went to. And then somewhere around 10th grade, that went away for me. Like, because I started making my own money and buying my own shit. And I was like, oh, I'd rather hang out with people and spend money going to eat with my friends. And I don't care if they don't have money, I'll pay for them. But like me dressing cool, I can't do that shit. Right? I don't know why I brought that shit up, but.
No, you're talking about like the difference, like the change of like from innocent kid who like is unaware of how they're perceived to like living in the judgment of other people, like the high school hierarchy, to being past it.
I saw this one kid. This kid was a white boy. He came to our high school, Martin Luther King. I have no idea. To this day, I want to ask him, how did that happen? And he was like religiously made fun of, you know? And I didn't like that shit. So, you know, but at the same time, I was like, damn, kid, you bringing this shit on yourself. Like, he would do some shit. It's like, God damn, bro. He was like 6'3" and he's 14, but he was like not, you know, coordinated.
Yeah.
You know? But he could, I swear to God, one day, this motherfucker just started breakdancing and murdering it, by the way. And then, but like, he was still getting relentlessly made fun of. And then one day he did the dopest thing I ever seen a white boy do. In that time, this is before social media, right? Really hit. Nigga came with some magic tricks. And if you go to a black high school with magic tricks, we all love you. That's it. It's over, bro. He was like blowing our fucking minds. He was spending all his money on magic tricks.
Holy shit.
Black people watching comedy is one of my favorite things in the entire world.
Comedy and magic tricks.
Yes, but even more so magic, because they'll give the illusion all the truth. They'll be like, that shit's true.
Well, I love that.
I think motherfucker's with the devil. He's fucking with the devil.
And I think I'm like that too. Like, I have a very my suspension of belief is very low. Like, my friend started to like learn magic tricks, and he was doing tabletop magic where like he like take your phone and like put a napkin over it and then make really quickly it just disappears. Yeah. And I was like, holy shit, like that's amazing. Like I
buy into it.
Saying I'm black.
Yeah. You're the blackest guy here, bro.
I think for some reason, maybe because of all the hallucinations.
Yeah, Abbey Road hair.
Maybe because I took like a bunch of acid when I was younger and other psychedelics. For some reason, like if I watch magic, I can almost always see the trick happening.
Oh, your third eye has been opened?
I don't know what it is.
Magic eye. Your magic eye has been opened.
In 2007 or 8, they shot a like a pitch for a television show. You remember Wolfman that you met in California, Kevin?
Okay. Yeah.
So that's where I met him. There was like a big production. It was like they put a lot of money into this thing. It was a variety show. So like we did sketches and this and that. And then they had a whole segment. We shot it inside like this crazy club in Manhattan. And it was a magician. So they were using like some of the actors and some of the comics to sit around and watch him do these tricks. And everyone was getting blown away by it. And I'm watching, I'm like, are you fucking retarded? How do you not see him throwing the card away? Like, am I like,
I gotta tell you, Josh, you ruined your own childhood.
Why?
You didn't want to be amazed?
Yeah, dude. What do you tell me now that you also
I believed in magic when I was a kid. My first time, the first joke I ever told on stage was at a magic show. When I was 4 years old or 5 years old, my mother and stepfather took me to a magic show in the city at a little theater. And at one point in the show, they called up a couple kids from the audience. And I think it was like 3 of us, or maybe it was just me, and they gave me a magic wand. So they gave the first kid, and they were like, okay, now you hold this and do this. And then they gave it to me. They're like, you hold this and do this. And they gave me the magic, the wand. And the second they did that, I turned you all into frogs. And the place erupted into laughter.
Respect, dude.
But I did it like,
You've been chasing that high ever since.
I thought that I could actually do magic. And then once I realized magic doesn't exist, but people do like laughing, then I gave up on making lies up and making people laugh. And that's the origin story of Joshua Pallet.
Interesting. No, I mean, I love believing. I love believing in things. And like, for instance, like I still believe in Santa Claus.
I mean, he's real.
I'll be honest, I still believe in the Easter Bunny. I think the Easter Bunny is cool. Like, I don't really have a lot of interaction with the Easter Bunny, but I love animals. So like, why would I not believe in an Easter Bunny?
We gotta put Easter Bunny on grading animals real quick.
Yeah, I should.
It's probably the Jewish thing. I think because like when you're a Jewish kid, like your parents let you know very early on that like that fucking Santa doesn't exist and Easter Bunny doesn't exist, and that I'm not getting
Well,
any
you know
toys.
what? It's the thing about it is it's weird. It's weird when you think of like the what the thing is, like what the concept that you're not supposed to like is, and then on a real simple level think where that comes from. For instance, like, listen, this show is, for better or worse, 70% a commercial to become Jewish. But one thing that can be criticized about the religion and all religions is that it's like, this is the way to think. Do not deviate from the path of thinking like this, because we need a uniform set of rules and stay within those lanes. So believing in like an inanimate like animal or something like that is against the rules. But when you think about like where does like the Christmas celebration in the fun way come from? The
Right.
joyful fun way doesn't even come from Christianity. It comes from these like sort of nature religions.
It comes from paganism.
Yeah. But the thing about the paganism is that like it's lively. It's like it's about nature. It's about like that like things have like sort of a magical power. And that's for especially for kids, magic. It's like everything is magic. How come like, you know, it's like fun. It's the joy of life, I think. So
Everything is magic. I really don't want to make this the Jewish episode again.
Well, cool. You start with it. I'm going to go to the bathroom.
The difference is that, you know, as a young Jewish kid, they don't tell you like there's no magic in the world, the Easter Bunny's not real, Santa Claus isn't real. They just tell you like the magic is real, but it's not coming from things that aren't real. It's coming from God.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
like, no, you're not disregarding that life is magical and that like there's miracles that happen all the time. It's trying to appoint them to things that aren't the actual cause of them that you're supposed to defer from.
You know what we got to bring up?
What's that?
Maybe on Patreon, the scenario.
The scenario?
You get the vaccine, but it turns you into a.
Why? You can talk about it here.
No, because we're almost done. This episode's been going on for an hour.
No, it hasn't.
It has. It's almost
Really?
an hour.
It's been an hour.
Well, then tease it. Here, John, I'm going to tease it for us.
Okay, sounds good.
So, if I remember correctly, so the vaccine is being offered, let's say, for the COVID virus.
Yes.
But the side effect to the vaccine is it turns you into a super soldier, like Captain America. Super strong and like super agile, but then you also have to go fight for the United States against.
Wow.
China.
That is a good premise.
Yes.
You should not. You should. I mean, it's a shame you'll never do anything with it.
It's not a thing to do with. It's a question like, would you take it? Would you take this vaccine that turns you?
The answer is no.
Damn,
no.
Wait. There's a reason, but then Kevin told me a little known fact, because the reason you're saying no is because you don't want to go and have to fight in a war, right?
A bigger reason is because I know who I am and I'm not going to hide it anymore. I don't even want to go back to my job. I want to create a new life from here going forward.
Right. Well, you could do that as a super soldier. Well, but this is the thing. So then Kevin told me one of the attributes of Captain America is that he told me, you know, Captain America doesn't even have to eat.
Dude, Kevin.
And when he said that, I said, John will do it. You'll never have to eat again.
I'm disappointed in you, first of all, one, being into stupid comic book bullshit, that you would know some idiotic shit like that.
I'm talking to Kevin. That was Kevin.
He's talking to me. He's talking to me.
Okay.
I don't know what the other part is, but yeah.
So, John, I mean, you would do it just if you never had to eat again.
No, you really hung up on the idea. So I think the thing about me and eating is, well, hey, listen, the truth is that since like yesterday was the first time that I ate like a real dinner, like with meat, in like probably the entire quarantine.
Wow.
I had not had, so I've been living off of
What the fuck have you been eating? Other than
Well, I told you guys what I eat, but like, you know, for dinner, I usually will eat like wheat pasta and like vegetable pasta and like plantain.
okay.
You know what I mean? But like I have not like so yesterday, so the last 8 days, Marianne and I took like an intensive
Oh
like
yeah.
get your shit together on YouTube and don't treat it like a fucking child, like posting shit, like figure out what your business thing is and do it. Like, and anyway, it's been very like challenging in that like you come up against like, what do you bring to the table? Like, and it's also like, how do you work with this other person? Like, what are we both going to do? Like, who's going to do it and all this shit. So it's like a lot of soul searching and a lot of like, you know, and so I was like that plus like staying up all night and like editing the video and like all this other shit. I was like so out of it that I was like, my body knew that like, oh no, I can't. If I eat that again, like I'm still going to be at a deficit. I'm actually going to only like go from like 25% to like 65%. So I went out and bought like a nice piece of salmon and like I cooked it. I had a real dinner with rice and beans and everything. And I was like, holy shit. And after that,
You needed it.
What?
And you felt like you needed it.
It was like I wasn't in control of driving the car to the supermarket.
Oh,
Wow.
shit.
And I just did that. And I really like, after doing that, it was like the pieces in my brain fit together like a puzzle again. And I became like whole. And then I was like, okay, I can do the next things of my life. But so yeah, like, I don't know. Like, it's not that I don't want to eat, but it's just that like, I don't know. I get into these probably unhealthy patterns and it'll just be what it'll be until I starve myself to death. Looks like you win this round, Josh.
Thank you.
All right, guys, and that's been Low End Gigolos. You can hear us on Patreon. I'm probably going
iTunes.
to put this episode out on any media. Thank you for listening.
Put on fucking iTunes, John.